Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream when I want you. In my arms when I want you. And all your charms whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream. Dream, dream, dream when I feel blue in the night and I need you to hold me tight whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so that I could die. I love you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Dream, 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 dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so that I could die. I love you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream.
There's a new world somewhere they call the promised land, and I'll be there someday if you will hold my hand. I still need you there beside me, no matter what I do, for I know I'll never find another you. There is always someone for each of us, they say, and you'll be my someone forever and a day. I could search the whole world over until my life is through, but I know I'll never find another you. It's a long, long journey, so stay by my side. When I walk through the storm, you'll be my guide, be my guide. If they gave me a fortune, my pleasure would be small. I could lose it all tomorrow and never mind at all. But if I should lose your love, dear, I don't know what I'd do, for I know I'll never find another you. But if I should lose your love, dear, I don't know what I'll do, for I know I'll never find another you. Another you. Another you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, thank you very much indeed. It's great to see so many of you here tonight. family and friends. I spoke to my brother Michael about which of us should do the speech tonight on behalf of the sons. And he said to me, you do it because you've got the speech-making genes, whereas I've got the genes for the looks, the wit and the intelligence. So apparently I'm doing the speech tonight. As I say, it is great to see so many family and friends here tonight to celebrate 40 years of marriage for two very special people, my mum and dad, John and Sheila. Mum and dad met in 1972 at Geraldine Lamb's dance school. And as we will see in a little bit, they're still dancing to this day. No, they married in 1973, so it didn't take them very long, but as Dad has told me before, the first time he saw Mum, he knew that was the woman he would marry. And they married at St Matthias Church in Plymouth, married by Reverend Fred Wood. They then moved into Bedford Villas, I believe, and since then they've moved around a little bit. We went to our bungalow in Estover, which Dad helped to build. Went up to Burley Park Road, where we lived for many, many years before moving to Northumberland. Then down to Banbury, where they are at the moment, and then they'll soon be moving back down to the southwest, back down to Brixham. Going back to their wedding, I do have a question for Dad, actually. Was Mum late?
Yes.
Yeah. I know that's traditional, but I was thinking about this, and I was just remembering our childhood and Mum's unique sense of timekeeping. We would often leave home at the time that something would actually say it was supposed to be starting, because according to Mum, they would give you time to be late. So I was quite impressed that they were both here on time tonight, actually. Now, a few years after they got married, I arrived, and then 3 years after that, Michael arrived, my brother. I'd say Michael and Martin, they are very, very sorry they can't be here tonight. As some of you will know, they're living over in Australia now. And they would have loved to have been here, but I did ask Michael for some stories. And he's given me a few. He recalls many happy family holidays. We never went abroad for our family holidays. In fact, on the contrary, we normally went on holiday so close that Auntie Liz could actually come and visit us from Plymouth. But they were great family holidays, and we also often went to the beach. And it didn't matter what the temperature, Dad would be there on the beach in his jumper and his socks and his trousers. There was a revelation one day, it got so warm, Dad actually took his socks off. It was a big day. Michael also remembered our letterboxing on Dartmoor, which for any of you that don't know about letterboxing, you have to trek around Dartmoor trying to find plastic lunch boxes, essentially, buried under rocks, and you get a rubber stamp in these. And Michael said to me, he hated it at the time, but he does remember it fondly now. And now, speaking of our letterboxing, when we were going through the many, many boxes that Mum and Dad brought up from our childhood just a few weeks ago in preparation for their move, we did find a little memento. So, Dad, we'd like you to assist us now. If you'd just like to pop this on for us. Oh, I'll pop it on and stand up. As we were doing our letterboxing, when you got so many stamps, you got a special hat. And you were going by the 100 Club. That was one of the hats we had to trek around on the way. Now, I have to say, I am amazed that Dad, looking back, went somewhere as dangerous as Dartmoor. Because growing up, Dad had a little catchphrase which he always used to say to me and Michael. In fact, it was such a good catchphrase that he still uses it to us now when we're in our 30s, which was, and I'm sure Mum knows what this is, careful! Though, as many of you will know, Dad is a man of few words. In fact, I remember back in our childhood when Dad took me to one side and he said to me, "Son." So anyway, Michael also said, and I didn't know this actually, and I was a bit annoyed about this one. I don't know if Mum knows about this, but Michael said, he quite liked being off school sick if Dad was going to look after him. Because apparently they used to go down to the video shop and get videos. Now, I've got all these stories about Dad, and we struggled a bit for stories about your Mum, and I couldn't really give Mum the hat with her wonderful hair. Looked very nice tonight, Mum. And Mum's hairstyles, as you will see from the photos up there, they've kind of gone with the ages. We've had the long hair, we've had the bobs, we've had the perms. In fact, we've got some photos of a few of them up here tonight. No. Yeah? Oh. Technology's broken, so you've been let off the hook, Mum. But I have to say, whatever we did, in all seriousness, Mum and Dad have always been extremely loving parents who gave us all the support that we could want in whatever we did. And now me and Michael are both married ourselves. And I can honestly say that there have been no better role models for marriage over all of these years. And if me and my wonderful wife, Liz, look back, and we've been married 2 years now, so if we look back in 38 years' time, I can honestly say we'll really be quite old. So, in closing, if you would like to charge your glasses and join me in raising a toast to my parents, to John and Sheila. John and Sheila.
That's good to me. Well, how do I follow that? A bit of difficulty, but I want to tell you a story. In actual fact, yes, we have been married for 40 years, but I actually met my wife in, I can work it out now, in July of the previous year.
Careful,
I actually went to Geraldine Lamb's, as I usually did, and thanks to a certain person here, my wife attended. Didn't she, Shirley?
She did, and I gave him the wrong year.
Yes.
I thought he met in 72.
We did meet in 72.
It's all my fault.
It was your fault, yes. But for that we are very, very grateful. When I actually asked you to marry me the first time, she said, "Oh, I think it's a bit quick." I don't know about that. You'll have to let me think about it. Do you remember? But as time went on, I asked several times more, and eventually she said yes. And then we sort of went out and found an engagement ring she liked, but she couldn't make up her mind between one or the other. So she then found out what sort of a person I was. An idiot. I just said, "What do you really like?" And she says, "Well, I like the diamond better than that one." I said, "Haven't they?" I don't know what went through her mind, but she said, "Do you really mean that?" And I said, "Yes." But the thing is, it was a bit big, so we had to have it adjusted. So I went back to the shop after they adjusted it and took it off to her, and she tried it on, and we were officially supposed to be getting engaged in January. I gave it to her, she put it on her finger, and she wouldn't take it off. So I suppose then we were engaged. And we actually got married on the 11th of August, and the night before I had a little bit of a... Most of you probably know about it. Everybody's been told. We went out on a little drink with my dad, my brother-in-law, and my brother. And me, I had the least to drink, and guess who was ill? In fact, I was so ill I actually ended up in hospital. So Sheila must have thought, good Lord, when they called her, what's he been done now? But everything turned out right. We actually got married on the 11th of August. And it was a lovely day, very hot as it was today. And then we drove up to Exeter, then we went up to London. We had a couple of days up there. Then went back to my elder sisters, and we had a lovely time there as well. And we went down to Cornwall, had a nice time there. Everything was good, it was unbelievable. As the years went on, as our son has already told you, I actually built, or helped build, our own home. And then we had our first son in there. And a couple of years later, we were having our second son. And then we moved from Marden Close up in Estover, and we moved down to Burley Park. Burley Park was a nice house, but somebody wanted a lot of alterations doing. And over the years I changed it. And then she said, oh, I want a new kitchen. So I said, oh, okay, we'll have a new kitchen. By which time I was working for a semiconductor company, and I was working shifts. And I put a new kitchen in, and within 12 months we moved. Strange. Put a new kitchen in, and we moved. So we moved up to Northumberland, and we had a nice house there. And we had a few alterations, but unfortunately that job fell through. Then we came back down to Banbury, and I recently put in a new kitchen on our house. Guess what's happened?
There's a lesson there somewhere, John.
There is a lesson there somewhere. Yeah, the lesson is, don't put a new kitchen in the house. But I mean, I've had 40 glorious years with my lovely wife. But what I didn't tell you is when I first met her, when I first saw her, she looked so lovely, and I just knew she was the girl for me.
Hey.
Raise your glasses to my lovely wife, Sheila. Thank you. Just look first. Hooray!